Hey, this is Tom Hamilton from Aerosmith, and you are on Backstage Access, where the real show begins.
Bring it on! Don't you know that she loves you a lot? Why don't you know what you got? I even know that she...
Hello and welcome to BackstageAxxess.com. We are here with a member of one of the biggest, baddest American rock and roll bands on the planet. We have here today with us Tom Hamilton of Aerosmith. Welcome, Tom.
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thanks. Now, as you said, Aerosmith's currently overseas on the Let Rock Rule tour, and your next show is going to be in Norway, and I think you just did one yesterday or the day before in Sweden. How's the first leg of the tour going so far?
It's going great. The band is kicking ass, and the fans have been unbelievable, and we get to tour around Europe at the best time of the year to do it. It's a blast.
Now, I know you've had some health issues, in the past, and I believe the tour last year. How are things for you health-wise so far on this one?
Things are on track. Good. I'm back to being me again.
Good. That's great news. Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of it is, it's post-cancer type stuff. I'm a little bit more vulnerable to some stuff now than I used to be, but it seems like I'm done with the cancer part of it.
Well, that's great news. That's the best ever. I'm glad that you're.
I'm knocking on wood.
I'm glad.
And I have my fingers crossed.
Exactly. Now, once you finish up on the European leg, you're going to be back in North America in July for that leg of the tour, and you're going to be close by us. At McLennan Park in Kitchener, Ontario for the second stop on that tour. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing that show. But let me ask you a question. Kitchener, it's a smaller, market. Why Kitchener instead of one of the larger markets like Toronto or maybe even Hamilton, Ontario?
I don't know the exact mechanics of that. I was kind of wondering about that because I don't remember I don't think we've ever played there before.
Okay.
But it must be. Is it near a big city
Well, the biggest city there would be Toronto, in that area. So that's why I was just
How far away is Toronto?
I'm not 100%. We're in the States. That's Canada. So my kilometers, miles is not.
There must be Kitchener must be someplace that's near a big city or in between two big cities or something like that.
Yeah, maybe you can get all those surrounding.
I don't know exactly the answer to that question because we don't have our itineraries yet. So.
Okay. Well, what can fans expect to hear on this tour this time around?
I think that fans that have seen us before kind of know that, we're a hard rock band, and on stage is where we really prove that. We've had a lot of controversy on record between our hard edge side and our ballad sort of top 40 side that we went through. But when you come to the show, even though you're hearing all those elements, you walk away and you've been to a hard rock show. That's our thing, is we get up there and play loud and with a lot of energy, and it's a gift for us that we've been together for so long that we've accumulated a lot of songs that we love to play, and that luckily the fans usually love to hear. So we have this wonderful problem of having a ton of songs to choose from, and it's hard to pick the ones out that we think the audience is going to like the most, and not only do that, but also pick some out that where we want to try to lead the audience and have them pay attention to something they might not have noticed.
Okay. Is that a band decision, or who's in charge of making those decisions? Is that the whole band as a group decides that, or?
Yeah, the band. We've been on and off the road a lot for the last, actually a few years, but we have sort of the skeleton of what we do in place. So, we have a core group of songs that we're always going to play. So, a lot of times, it's just a matter of putting those in the right order and mixing them up with songs that we can pull in and out as we want. That are from our old albums or from our not so old albums or our current album.
Okay. Now this tour you have Slash opening the show for you. When did you first meet Slash, and what was your first opinion of him?
The first time we met him was when Guns N' Roses came out and opened for us when they had their first album, and they were just starting to happen. And the first impression of Slash was his crushing handshake. And oh my God, I remember it was so hard. And other people were sort of mentioning that too, like, wow, did you shake hands with that guy? Holy shit. I thought he was going to tear my hands off. And then somebody else's wife was crying, and but they were good guys, but they were a bit tentative for the first few shows, and then once they got their bearings, they just turned into this awesome live band.
Cool. Now, the latest Aerosmith release, that was back out, I think, in the fall of 2012, Music from Another Dimension. And that was the first album you guys put out in quite some time. And I really loved some of the 70s feel of some of those songs, especially like Street Jesus. But the record never really seemed to take off commercially the way some of your past albums have. Were you disappointed in the reaction to that album, or...?
Well, yeah, a little, because I think there's some great stuff on that record. I think it's a really good guitar album, and but I don't know. I mean, you'd think the hardcore Aerosmith fans would be automatically be people that went right out and got the record, but it didn't seem to happen. So. It's interesting. I don't know. Maybe we put too many songs on it, or we weren't careful enough about how some songs were finished off. But I had this dream when we were making this album of writing a song completely with lyrics, and I was able to do it. It's a song called "Tell Me." And then we have a deluxe version of the record that has 3 extra songs, and there's another song that I wrote and actually sang on, which is the first time in my life I've ever done that. So, for me, because that happened, I got what I needed out of that record, so I love it.
Right.
But maybe everybody in the band was in that same mode. It's been so long since we made a record. We know that we're closer to the end than the beginning in what we're doing. So everybody wants to be able to put their stink on it.
Right.
Maybe we weren't really thinking about how the fans were going to receive it. Maybe we were just making an album for ourselves. But I don't know. Hopefully people will keep giving it a try, and they'll find stuff to love about it.
Okay. And are you playing any songs from that record on the tour this time around?
Yeah, we are. We're playing Oh Yeah, and we're playing one that Joe wrote called Freedom Fire.
Okay.
We always have one song that Joe sings during the set.
Okay.
And that's what we're doing now.
Okay. Well, hopefully more people will be exposed to that and love it the way I did.
No, thank you for the compliment, and I hope you're right.
You're welcome. It was a great album. Are you working on any new music right now? Will there be another Aerosmith album happening anytime in the near future?
The band as a group is not working on anything, but I am working on songs that I've been working on for a long time. Trying to finish them off, trying to improve them and chip away at them. And there's a few of them are probably never going to be Aerosmith songs, so I'll have to figure out how to get them out there. that's going to be something that I'll probably do when the band's off the road for a while.
Okay, so maybe a Tom Hamilton solo record might be in the future, or some kind of side project then?
Well, you never know, or someone will like a couple of these and put them in a video game or use them for something interesting.
Okay.
There's so many ways that your music can get out there now.
Right, exactly. With the internet, everything just explodes sometimes. Now,
yeah, I mean, if you're desperate enough, you can just go post it. And then try to be a little more businesslike.
Now, some of your bandmates have gone in a different direction and published their autobiographies. You know, Joey, Steven had a book out. I think Joe Perry's book is coming out in the fall. Is there any plans in the work for a Tom Hamilton book, or is that something that you would be interested in doing?
I would definitely be interested in it, and people are asking me that a lot. So, yeah, I think so. I like to write, and I don't think I could not do it after so long. And I think that I'm not sure what kind of book it would be. I don't think it would be like a serious, big, thick, fact for fact kind of thing.
Right.
I don't think it would be a tell-all. I'm not going to squeal on any of my fellow band members about anything, but maybe just something to sort of try to convey what it's been like, and, put the story in a form where people can feel it and really get the plot and get the characters.
Yeah, that would be something I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in taking a read to, for sure.
Well, I'm better to sort of get my ass together and do it.
Now, so many musicians, and I know Slash is one of them, cite Aerosmith as being one of their greatest influences musically. But who are some of your biggest musical influences?
Well, when I was a little kid, like 9 years old, there was a guitar band called The Ventures.
Okay.
They were just an instrumental band.
Right, surf rock.
And then when I was about... Yeah, right. And then, the Beatles were on, that famous variety show that the whole country used to watch every Sunday night.
Right.
And that's probably set me on my path, really, that night. It went really deep. I could not believe it. Here were these guys, and they were, had long hair. Nobody had long hair in those days. Not guys. If you had hair like that, people, would say, "What are you doing now? You're trying to, be like a girl, or what the hell?" But their music and the way they played and their personalities just got to me so strong. All of a sudden, I'm like, wow, I see the long hair and what's great about it, and I want to do that. Yeah, they, as far as music goes, they have defined my existence for years. But, I was also way into the Stones and some of the other British bands from back then, like the Take 5, and they were a very cool band. And then you had the wave of British music that included Led Zeppelin and The Who. And I just couldn't believe when I heard that first Led Zeppelin album. I could not believe that. I just never thought a record should sound like that. It was so new and different than anything that had ever been made. So much more powerful and lush, and you could hear the bass, you could feel the drums. Unbelievable. And then you had all these bands coming out from the west coast of the U.S. The Doors and Jefferson Airplane and the Byrds. The Byrds are in my top 5 in terms of what makes up the chemistry of what I like about music, and it's probably got the 12-string electric 12-string guitar.
Okay.
And just that the folk rock thing. I just loved it.
Cool. Now, this question you may not be able to answer, but if you had to choose a favorite Aerosmith song, what would it be?
Well, people have asked me that in the past, and I always say Back in the Saddle.
Okay.
to me, it's a fantastic Joe Perry riff, and the lyrics of the song are so great, and the way the song builds and the way it was produced, it's just so amazing and unusual, and so I love that one. But I'm sure there's ones from that are from more recent records that I love just as much that I have to sit here and think for a minute, which would take too much time.
That's fine. That's a great choice. Can't go wrong with Back in the Saddle. That's for sure. Oh, thank you, Tom, for taking the time to chat with us today. We sure do appreciate it. I hope you guys have the best luck on the tour. We're going to look forward to seeing you when you hit that Kitchener show in July.